Welcome everyone to another Sunday night Scrap Chat live with Scrap and Irish and whoever decides to turn up. As always, if you could hit the thumbs up button under the video, I would appreciate that. So I'm not late, dead on time, not like the old shark scrapper having an old snooze for himself. Anyone that was over a shark scrapper, he was having a few issues. He came late to the stream. He was dilly-daddling, he said himself, and then he managed to realize what time it was and got on live, and then he had a bit of an issue with his sound, but all sorted out before long anyhow. So we did get to enjoy a nice shark scrapper stream. So where do we start? Well, we start first by welcoming in who's here. Let me see. First person was Leanne. Welcome in. Good to see you. Lee from Anfield Road Layout. Welcome in. Winter Farm. Welcome in. That's someone from the TikTok side of things. So welcome in. Good to see you. Andy, welcome in. Great to see you. Everyday Solars. D Scraps, E Scraps. Welcome in. Good to see you. Tag, welcome in. Great to see you. See you scrapping. Brilliant to have you on board as always. Paul Frost, good to have you. Richard, welcome in. Great to have you on board. And I think we're caught up with everyone. So what I've been working on, well, I've been working this week. I was taking apart some electronic ballasts from some old lighting that I need to get through. So I was doing a lot of them. Hey, Shark Scrapper.
Hey, let's see if I can mess up your stream too. I'm on a roll today.
I was saying you were doing an Ian Matthews today. So you are. Someone put up the American Ian Matthews. I seen being put up at one stage in your chat.
Oh man,
Ian Matthews. So yeah, you were having a bit of a mare today. But sure, these things happen. It's easy to lose track of time because you could be doing something or watching a YouTube video. You'll say, "Oh, I'll watch this YouTube video now before I go live," or "I'll have a look at this." And next thing you just lose track of time, and you go, "Oh my God, what the hell? I'm meant to be live at this stage." So yeah, I was just saying hi to a few people there that I missed. Oh, Mike's Meltdown, Paul Frost, anyone else? Yeah, so I was saying I was taking apart electronic ballast for the last while. I've been doing I'll be on TikTok and I'll be taking them apart. And I was pulling off the usual copper transformers, and I was pulling off the little blue M&Ms for the silver, and I was pulling. And then a buck put up in the comment, "What about the black item there?" And I said, I went down and I said, "Which black item?" They said, "This one." I said, "Oh, that's just a capacitor or whatever. I don't pull off them. I don't go after that." And he said, "That's full of copper." And what was it? But sure, they're all inductors. And I didn't realize there was an inductor. I just looked at it. I presumed it was a capacitor. And each one of them had a nice ball of copper like that in each one of them when you take them apart.
Oh, okay.
So, that was handy. I found that out today. So I'll be keeping an eye for them when I'm taking out stuff. So it was like a rubber. It looked like a capacitor, but it was covered in rubber. And they have the nice little bit of copper in them. So it was very interesting. But there was a suggestion made on the live, what we could talk about maybe tonight, or just mention anyhow, two things that we said we'd mention. And this is for D Scraps, E Scraps especially. The first thing is she got a bad injury today. She well, maybe yesterday, she cut her knee open with a server. And she was just wondering, what is the worst injury anyone that you've got from scrap? And I said, I think the worst I got was putting a screwdriver through that part of my hand. You know, that little bit there between the thumb and the finger, that webbing, straight through there. I put a screwdriver one time. I think that's the worst I've done. What was the worst injury you done to yourself, Shark?
I think it must have involved a laceration of some sort.
Well, now you did have that. You did have that. You did have that incident with the paint that exploded into your face.
Yeah, but I didn't injure myself because I had my safety glasses on.
Yeah. But it could have been a bad injury.
Oh, it could have been a really bad injury if I didn't have safety glasses on. Absolutely. Yeah, that could have blinded me.
That was a quite risky thing.
That had the potential to be bad.
I was saying, like, Ian Matthews is probably the guy to ask for injuries because he's had, I'd say, most injuries of anyone on the scrap related stuff. Another person, probably E-Waste Mike, when he tried to cut himself in two with a grinder one time. He would have been had a bad injury. Guys in the chat, people in the chat, what's your worst injuries? Put it in there and we'll see what your worst injuries is. And the other topic she said that might be of interest to people is rare earth minerals. What rare earth minerals do you keep from your scraps? Like everyone, I think, that does scrapping has loads of neodymium magnets. That's a rare earth metal, is your neodymium metal. But what do you do with it? Like I just reach down here now and I will pull up a pile of neodymium magnets stuck together. What do you do with them? If I reach over here, I'll pull up another pile. If I go into another bucket somewhere else, there's another pile of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do we do with them? What is there a facility that will recycle them? I think Richard said earlier in the Lucky Minor Cuts right now, tough. That's Winter said that. Minor Cuts is the only thing. Yeah, minor cuts are fairly standard as a scrapper. You're always getting them little cuts. And sometimes you don't even notice you've cut yourself until you grab something that later on in the evening that might sting your fingers. And you go, wow, and you go, oh, I've got loads of little cuts on my fingers. For stuff like that, you know. Them ones. Miss Canadian Scrapper, welcome in. Good to see you.
Hey, great to see you.
Miss Canadian Scrapper, have you ever got a bad scrapping injury? Because you do a lot of heavy lifting, heavy thing. I know that you could put your back out or twist a knee or stuff like that. You know, that sort of stuff where you're lifting heavy stuff is another one where you can get injuries very easy. What did Richard say? I had a chisel to dip upward some stuff. I put a towel over it, kept on flying away. I drove the chisel right into the webbing of my thumb. Lovely. The worst the tag has had is the worst injury I've had was not a physical, it was emotional. I broke a nearly brand new GPU. Right, it can hurt as much as breaking a bone. That can.
Tag computing. Did you need counseling after that?
Plastic bag and drag it across the side yard of neighbour's construction. Picked up 9 nails and screws that are lazy screws drop over the place. Yeah, that's what the neodymium magnets. Joseph is saying.
Yeah, I've
he's in the location.
New location. Is it a secret location? Oh, he's locked up.
He's frozen.
Yeah.
Maybe he's not the real Mike. We're going to have to. Oh, he's back. He's back. He's moving. He's moving. He's a real person. No, he's frozen again.
Worst injury for me was the 7 stitches.
Go on.
Might be having a little bandwidth issues,
I'm having
Mike. You're coming in, going out, and coming in, going out.
Yeah.
You're okay now, I think. Go
on. 7 stitches.
Yeah.
Laceration I took.
That was relatively recent, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was only a month or two ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Worst injury for see you scrapping. Worst injury by far was stamping down on a roll of fencing and drove a piece of metal right through my foot. I was 3 days in hospital. Let me see. I put my back out. I right over the threshold. Oh, I can rely on the Jeanette Pickering. Welcome in. Good to see you. I did, and it hurt my wallet much more than. I don't think there's anything else. No one else with their injuries. So this is your location, and this is your work area, Mike.
This is it.
It's beginning to look a bit like an Ian Matthews shed.
Yeah, you know, Mike, you got to be careful who you're taking lessons from in shed management.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely gotten messy down here. I literally spent all day yesterday and the day before cleaning up out back. So got my yard straightened out again. Now it's back down here and I'm processing everything as fast as I can.
That's cool, electronic scrapper. Good gloves. Yeah, as Watch Call, I think Watch Call mentioned this last week, Shark, on his safety tips about tetanus injections, just making sure your tetanus is up to date and stuff like that. Because if you're cutting your hand on rusty metals or stepping on nails and stuff like that, you want to make sure you don't get the old tetanus, that issue. But yeah, so injuries, a lot of people, but it doesn't seem to be. Most people seem to get fairly minor stuff there, thank God. I know at the time it mightn't seem minor, but if you can get back to work within a few days, it's not too bad. But if you end up doing something where you maim yourself so bad, you're out of work for sucker sticks.
You know, I tell you, I
you.
give a lot of credit to the safety training that I got when I was in the Navy, and then when I was in industry. Things like, thinking about how you're going to lift something, where it's going to go, fire safety, chemical safety. People would give me grief back when I was in Florida and I would be street scrapping, and I'd have, long trousers and heavy boots and a long sleeve shirt, and it's 100 degrees and they're giving me grief about, sweating. But I very rarely had any, I would get cut like everybody, but it was very rare that I had any serious injuries. I can't even think about, a serious injury that I had from scrapping, but there were certainly lots of close calls, like you pointed out, Irish, with that paint explosion.
Yeah. That one where it exploded, and lucky enough, as you said, you had your goggles on and our eye protection, and the paint went everywhere, all over you and all over the glasses. If anyone's seen that photo, and that would have been your eyeballs that were painted if you didn't have them on.
Yeah, that would have been really, really bad.
Every day, Solars.
Hi.
Hello,
I see
Solars. How are you doing?
I was going to say, I see Solars is going to be doing a live again tonight. She done a live the last night. It's not just a premiere now; it's a live.
Yeah, it won't be every week, but yeah, I thought I would tonight. So fingers crossed, the internet will work.
Oh yeah, that's it. Look, we all rely on the internet. We do our lives that it holds up until we're finished.
Yeah.
So, as I say, it's something we all have to rely on, and not always. It doesn't always play ball with us, but sometimes it does. So, what can we look forward to tonight on your live? What are you going to be doing on it, or is it top secret? Oh, plug soup.
Soup.
Some plug soup.
I have so many plugs. I was like, you know what? I've done a video on it, so I won't do another video on it, but I can do it while I'm chatting, and hopefully there'll be people on panel and I can just get some of these plugs processed because they're coming out my ears. So
now, Everyday Solars, I know how you Brits like your tea. Maybe you should just start calling that plug tea.
plug tea. I should really, yeah. Plug tea.
English plug tea.
Yeah. The only thing is, in my shed clear out, I've realised that I have snapped off the dial to my urn. So I'm just hoping I can use some pliers to turn the urn on. Otherwise, it'll be plan B, which I don't have. So that'll be
That's a Berco boiler. Never mind calling it an urn. It's a Berco boiler. Will you stop with the fancy urn? Call it a fancy urn.
No, we call it an urn. No, it does say Berco Catering on it, so perhaps you're right.
It's a Berco boiler.
Thank you so much for
trying to be fancy.
Hey, Solars, don't listen to him. We call them urns. They're urns. Don't listen to them.
Yeah, but you turned into an American. That's like saying aluminum instead of aluminium. You've just turned.
No, we always call them tea urns. That's what we've always called them. Tea urns.
Oh, a bunch of plugs waiting to turn. I need a beer, damn. American's favorite artist sat through too many ads, I think. There, he was held up. So he was. It was good to see Mike making a few videos again during the week.
Yeah, I saw that. Good.
Yeah. Hopefully he's on the road to recovery. Hopefully.
Well, I wish he'd just make up his mind. I mean, I'm getting tired of this stuff. It's like, dude, either get on with it or stop teasing us.
Savage.
Oh, stop. But I was going to say there was something I was going to say. Richard Hubbard had put a comment when we were on about the rare earth metals and that. He put a comment in your live on about China having, being the leading country in the world for the rare earth metals, which they are, in all fairness, and saying it's a bit scary that one country has so much of it. But more countries, I think, in the last while have started to search out their own rare earth metals as well. Like I know Ireland has been looking into it, and one of the big and up and coming countries where they say there's going to be a good find of rare earth metals is Greenland. Now, where did I hear someone looking for Greenland? And I wonder why. Rare earth metals were found in Greenland. Yeah. Okay.
Shot.
Hmm.
The one
Yeah.
who won't mentioned.
So, what I'm trying to say there is sometimes smoke and mirrors, and then you find out the real reason someone wants something out of a country, and all of a sudden, Greenland have a lot of rare earth metals.
There had to be something.
So Ireland
Well-
better watch out because we found some rare earth metals as well. We better watch out too.
Uh-oh.
Well, and there's a lot of places that have rare earth minerals. It's just how easy is it to get them? What's the
Yeah.
concentration? So it's and hey, a lot of those Chinese rare earth minerals are over here in the U.S. now. We just have to get them out of the form that they're in.
Yeah. They're in e-waste and they're in so we just need to. But that's whereas D-Scraps saying that that's going to be a big thing in years to come is the rare earth minerals, and how easy it's going to be to convert them. Again, the neodymium magnets, and you have your lithium, you have your rubidium, all them sort of stuff, and how easy is it going to be to convert them? How dangerous is it going to be? Is the cost going to be viable? Because you're going to have to be recycling, the cost is high or whatever. Does that push the price of electronics up even higher? It's a lot of stuff that people will need to look into and stuff like that on it if they want to get their own rare earth metals or recycle them rather than buy from China. Because again, people have learned, I think, over a couple of different things, whether it was the war with Russia and Ukraine, where Europe was relying on Russia for gas, and all of a sudden the war broke out and they didn't want to be buying the gas anymore, but they had to be still buying a certain amount of gas because so countries, I think, are beginning to realize that they have to become more self-sufficient in a lot of stuff, or not be relying on just one country for everything. Spread it out. Buy some rare earth metals from other countries. Don't be just buying from China, stuff like that, and do deals with other countries and make sure that you have a standby. That's where I think anyone kept up with tech in aluminium, iron batteries to replace lithium. Toyota has made a major strides. And okay, so that's aluminium iron batteries instead of lithium. So there we go. Will that mean that the price of aluminium will increase because it's another use for aluminium? That if these batteries become viable and become mass produced, again, it's going to start using up a lot of aluminium. And then will that push the price of aluminium up? Or aluminum for you Americans, the two Americans I have on the panel.
No. Don't. I had my girls today. They were playing a game. They were like, "It's in the elevator. It's in the elevator." I was like, "Excuse me, it's a lift." All the time. I was like, "Oh God."
Mike's Wi-Fi was too bad, so he might pop back inside and he might go on a stronger Wi-Fi. I don't know.
That's funny. Is his Wi-Fi is unstable. I don't have that excuse. It was me that was unstable earlier today.
You pressed the wrong button and you were talking away and putting stuff up, and I even sent you a WhatsApp and I even tried ringing.
I know. I saw it. That's why I was like, "Uh-oh, that's not good." Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
But
never
know,
that.
Seriously, Irish, on the rare earth minerals and the fact that things change, it's one of the interesting things about our modern society and the capitalistic part of the electronics business. Companies are always trying to find less expensive ways to do the same things. Yeah. That's why we see gold in computers. Older computers had a lot more gold. Newer computers have a lot less gold because they figured out that they can use Goldenic instead of plating. It doesn't have to be as thick. There's places where you can use aluminum instead of copper. Industry keeps trying to find ways to achieve the same or good enough standards using less expensive materials.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's good for our pocketbooks as consumers. It sucks for us as scrappers.
But also, nothing is designed to last anymore. So all these cheaper alternatives are great kind of for the company, sometimes for the customer, although it's not really passed on that much. But none of these products actually last longevity. So it ends up just being a disaster for the consumer because we have to, it's like washing machines. You used to have a washing machine for like 20 years. Now I'm lucky if I get 5 years out of a washing machine.
Yeah.
Well, now, wait a minute. How long have you been married?
16 years.
So your husband has had a washing machine that's lasted 16 years.
True. That's very true.
Yeah. Sorry, I couldn't do this. That was terrible.
Steve is asking a question. Anyone scrapping out power tools, BMSESs? I'm not sure what he means by that, but I've been noticing a fair bit of gold on Milwaukee's BMSs. I wonder if it's worth it. Now, for start, I don't know what a BMSES is. Does anyone else?
I don't know what it is.
Okay, so Simon, you're going to have to explain what that is for us, and we might be able to get an answer then. I don't get much power tools to scrap out. I think Everyday Solace, you get it. I just see you scrapping out some power tools.
Yeah, I get quite a few power tools. Yeah. I'm not sure what that abbreviation stands for. I mean, my favourite thing out of the power tools is stuff like this, which is kind of like, the steampunky cogs and stuff that I can put in like resin skulls and stuff. I don't know if you can see it under the light, but that, I love drills for this kind of thing. Yeah. I mean, gold is always good, but I'm always looking for little creation-y bits.
Well, yeah, because you're more of a creative kind of scrapper. You're always making those interesting castings and stuff like that, which is, really cool to be able to use those odd bits and bobs that show up in the scrap.
Especially the stuff that is actually worthless to us. Like when I do like a low-grade board, I absolutely love that kind of shingle that you get off of it, which has no value at all the tiny capacitors, all that kind of stuff, because it looks great inside a resin sculpture. So I try and utilize everything as much as I can.
Well, we have our answer from Steve. It's the battery management system on those things. So that'd be in the charger, I presume it means, in the battery charger, or is it in the actual drill part itself, in battery management parts? I see. I don't get
pork, couldn't it, that connects it?
Yeah. So I don't get many of them, so I'm not sure. If anyone has an answer for that in the chat, let us know. Welcome in, Raphael Scrapper. Good to see you. Hope all is good with you. Electronic Scrapper saying hi. Everyone's tag is saying, yeah, it's monitoring performance of the battery and make sure that they don't fully discharge or charge too much. Okay, I'll have to look into that. It's something I don't get power tools, so it's not something I go looking for or ever, but it may be something to go looking for if there's gold in it. Yeah, so yeah, no, small bits like all that crumbles as that you were showing there. I just throw them out. Hey, E-Waste Mike, welcome in. Good to see you.
Exactly.
Hope you're all feeling better. E-Waste Mike, I sent you a message on that number you sent me, but I don't know, did you ever get it or not? If you have WhatsApp, let me know. I can send you the message on WhatsApp instead. If you don't have WhatsApp, download it. So I can send you messages at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, just like Ian Matthews does.
Mike, why would I want to find something else to do on Sunday at 2 p.m.? It's so much fun knowing that I'm aggravating the hell out of you. Or at least creating the potential to aggravate the hell out of you.
I don't have time for messages. He goes, I don't have time for messages. I've got a connection with a local battery store that sends me them, and they end up recovering a fair bit of lithium batteries. And it also ends up recovering. Okay, so do you recover the lithium, Steve? And how hard is it to do that? Because lithium is quite a dangerous substance to be trying to recover. So I'd like to know about that. And I definitely.
Not for me.
I was going to say, I hope he's listened to Shark's live earlier and has the fire extinguisher, the correct fire extinguisher for the lithium on standby.
Yeah.
I remember a meeting that back when I was in the underwater robotics industry, and we had a meeting with one of the companies that makes lithium batteries. And their operations boss was saying, when you're in the business of making lithium batteries, it's not a question of if you will have a fire. It's just a question of how many you will have.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Oh, I see what he's doing. He's not actually recovering the lithium. He's recovering the actual cells to make a power wall. Okay.
Oh,
I've seen, like, I talked about that last week where there was a company in, I sent Shark the link to it. Did you watch that video, Shark, on that?
I did.
Yeah.
That was very interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. Where they take the old car batteries and they're using them to power data centers ran off solar panels. So the solar panels power up the batteries power up the data center, which was very interesting. And they would have been old car batteries. There might have a cell or two were gone on them. They were no longer any good for the car. So, but because it didn't matter, there's one or two cells gone, they can still give enough power out of them to keep the data center running. Bill, welcome in. Good to see you.
You know what I thought was really interesting about the layout when they were showing that huge field of batteries. It had to be, a football pitch big of the batteries. Now, part of it was spread out so they could get a forklift in there to move the batteries around because they're so heavy. But, you also think to yourself, well, that way, if one of those cells cooks off, there's so much space between the battery packs. They probably don't have to worry about all of them cooking off.
Yeah.
Just fascinating the way they had that all laid out.
Yeah. But again, it wasn't getting dumped. It wasn't getting having to be dealt with other ways to recycle it. They were actually using them straight away again and getting full use out of them. So instead of them having their life that they would have had for the car, they've got a second life. So sometimes it's not about it's about reuse, and reusing something for a different purpose than what it was made for will just be as good as recycling it fully, So it was an interesting video.
Yeah, I had quite an irate commenter this week that said essays, and I mean like essays on that vape video I did about a year ago. Still get quite a lot of views on that every month, and basically he was on the bandwagon of it's a cure for cancer and how amazing. And I was just trying to say, yeah, I get that, but it's the disposable element of it that I can't stand. And the lithium littered all over the place. But God, I mean, he just kept coming back, and I was just like, wow, oh God. But they've been banned in this country now anyway. Since I made that video, you can no longer buy disposable vapes here. So that's much better.
I think it's the same here in Ireland, or they are introducing it that the one-time use e-cigarettes are going to be outlawed. I don't know if it's already in law or whatever. So you have to buy the ones with the refills that you refill the liquid back into it and reuse it. Because again, people were just throwing them when they finished using it, as you said, they were throwing it on the street, they were leaving it wherever, and then that was getting into the rain, getting washed into the water systems and
Yeah,
stuff like
massive.
that. So, so it had to be dealt with somehow. And
Yeah,
plastics
absolutely.
and all that, you know.
I mean, lithium as well is a finite resource. I mean, can you imagine the amount of lithium that's been used in all of those disposable vapes over the years? It must be an insane amount. So even now, even if you just get to recharge it like 5 times instead of 1, that is still 5 times less wastage on the lithium battery. So, you know, so it can only be good.
Still get them in the US. I swear I want to get boxes to recover the internals. Well, again, when you done that video, like there was a lot of the time the casing is aluminium on the outside of them, isn't it? And you had some gold, you have some gold in there, and you have your lithium. So there is a lot of recyclable stuff in it because it's to dealing with the lithium afterwards. What do small-time scrappers or part-time scrappers do with them sort of items? Because they're quite dangerous to be dealing with, quite dangerous to be storing. So it is an issue, you know.
Oh, 100%, which is why I showed I mean, you know, I'm cautious since I burnt my arm on a battery that was just in my household recycling, not even scrapping, and it just exploded. So I showed how I, you know, try and make sure they're not going to short out on each other. And then I put them in an ammo box, and then I take them to like the transfer station section, and I put them in their battery recycling. What they then do them, I have no idea, because, you know, we do know that they're not great at recovering and recycling the lithium. So I really don't know what they then do. But
yeah, I'd like to see inside. I'd like if someone, I've searched on YouTube. I haven't really found a good video yet to show lithium recycling in a big scale, not like backyard guys or whatever, but big scale, just to see actually what happens and how it's recycled. It'd be interesting to see or what happens, because you know, lithium is, as you said, it's one of them resources that is only a certain amount or whatever, and it's very hard to get the lithium out of the ground. It's a labor intensive, it's child labor in some countries, and because we want all this latest technology with these batteries, we're contributing to that sort of system. So if we can have a recycling where it's recycled by big plants, you're not going to need as much dug out of the ground. So it'd be interesting to see. What did Raphael say? Myself do not think they use real lithium in cheap devices, but there is some kind of third or even fourth class. Well, again, that could be it. It could be, I don't know, myself personally, there could be lithium mixed with something else to give you, but if it's a one-time use, then it's not really going to need an awful lot of strong lithium in there on it for these one-time use things. But if it's something that's getting used over and over, like car batteries, I'm sure they have proper good thing. I get nervous with keeping laptop batteries. And the problem nowadays with laptops is, if you ever notice, most new laptops, the battery, you can't remove the battery from the laptop at any stage without taking the whole thing apart. That worries me a lot, because one time you take the battery out, and if you were using the laptop in a place, you just leave it plugged in all the time. Nowadays, you can't do, well, you can do it, but I do worry about when the battery is concealed and you can't see what's happening.
Definitely. Would you remember I said, sorry.
Go on, carry on.
I said about my mobile phone drawer that I had, and I took out some of these. I just get mobile phones, chuck them in a drawer inside a lot of the time, because, you know, my kids used to play with them and play offices and whatever. And I went into the drawer, and some of these phones are ancient, and I realised how swollen the batteries had become on them. I thought, oh my God, it's literally a ticking time. And we've all got drawers with like old mobile phones in our houses, not even our shed, you know? Dangerous.
Again, when they swell, it's not as dangerous as people think. That's just gases building up inside. It's not like it's ready to explode. If you even just pierce that with a little hole, it all the air comes out and it just carries on as normal.
I just thought it was like ready to go.
No, not usually. I looked into that myself, because I thought that myself, but when I looked into it online and stuff, it's a build up of pressure of air and gas more than anything else. And it's not like there's something chemically really going on. now it may if the battery is damaged, then that might be an issue. Reuse them for projects, send them in for recycling. Usually they shred them up in a mix of water and separate the plastic and such, dry it out and reuse it. Okay, thanks for that.
So the one of the challenges that they have with large scale lithium battery recycling is that the chemistries can be very different from one manufacturer to another, and so when the general process is that they get ground up and mixed in an inert environment so that you don't have a fire potential, and it gets turned into what's called black mass. And it's just this slurry of lithium and the other chemicals that were in the battery mix. The challenge becomes then separating the lithium from all the other chemicals that were used by the different battery manufacturers. And there's a lot of companies out there that, they're working on it. Sometimes they solve the problem by pre-sorting the battery based on chemical. Others are working on chemical processes to be able to deal with whatever chemistry shows up. But it's challenging, but it can be done. And the real challenge for us in the small scrapper world is how do you get those to the large companies that are doing that large scale recycling? Sometimes you have to pay, sometimes they'll pay you. I just went down this road and tried to understand because I'm shipping these larger quantities now, these Gaylord pallet loads. One of my brokers, he's like, well, we probably ought to look at a hazmat because you got laptop batteries in there. And here in the US, that means that you have to have a contract with an emergency response company.
Oh, wow.
And so there's $1,000 a year to have a contract with them. But in order to have the contract, you need to have the proper training and credentials. And it's like $300 for this course and $300 for that course. So, you put in a couple of $1,000s in order to ship this stuff. And then there's always an add-on when you're shipping hazmat. So, it can get expensive to do it within, I don't want to say do it right. I mean, it's yes, that's technically doing it right. But it gets expensive when you're shipping a large quantity of things, of a hazardous material like lithium, just because of the risks that are involved.
Yeah, and like even over here now, if you're sending a parcel out of the country, if you say there's a battery in it, they won't even take it off you. You have to declare there's no battery in it on it, because if you're declaring there's a battery, it has to be sent by a different sort of service which would handle hazardous material. So anything with a battery in it nowadays is called a hazardous item. So that's why if you buy tools or stuff that'll have a sticker on it saying hazardous battery or whatever, when it arrives to you, you'll always see that sticker on it. So it's gotten that way that a lot of companies won't carry stuff that, because again, if they're driving, we say a delivery company, if they're driving, they don't realize the battery in there, it could go on fire, and next thing burn all the van down and stuff like that. So I presume they have to know it's a battery item, so they store it in a different way, or I don't know what reason, and there must be a reason for the storage more than anything else, I'd say. Welcome in, by the way, Ron.
I found out how the Irish customs are so much fussier than the UK ones. When I tried to send you a coaster Irish and it came back to me and they told me off because it had electronic components inside it, and I was like, come on, man. It's in resin in the form of
the
a
Irish
coaster.
customs people had an issue with me sending them honey, for God's sake.
Oh no.
They held it for what? How many months was it? Must be good job honey doesn't go off. That's the only thing I could say. It was held for months.
Did you get it?
I got it in the end, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Shark had to get on to the shipping company in America, and the shipping company came back to him and said it's to do with the agricultural department in Ireland. They're holding it up or whatever, and Shark said, well, just get it back to me or give me back my money for shipping or whatever. And then eventually they must have got on and got it moved, and it eventually arrived to me. So that was it. I've worked for several years in an electronic repair center, and batteries were our bread and butter. We talked to several recyclings and they told us all about them. Okay, good to know. But again, yeah, I suppose if you're in an industry, you know more about it than I would. I usually take my tools connected and send them off for processing.
So the other thing is that, you know, you've probably noticed this when you get a device that has a lithium battery in it, the first thing you have to do is charge it up.
Yes.
And, you know, it's because a lithium battery that has a full charge is much more dangerous than a lithium battery partial charge, because it's that stored energy that can cause a short circuit runaway fire. So the companies, you know, in particular, you know, Dell and those guys, when they're making shipping laptop batteries or laptops with batteries, they make sure the batteries have been discharged below a certain point so that they can then ship them as it's part of it's integrated into the piece of equipment and below a certain charge. And then it's not as dangerous and they don't have to ship it as hazmat. They still have to put a UN shipping label on it so that people know there's lithium in there, but they don't have to pay as much for shipping them. It's not as dangerous. So it's very interesting, the challenges that are associated with properly shipping lithium around.
Definitely.
Patrick Williams, welcome in, by the way. Who else did I see? I said hi to Ron. HH Recycling, welcome in. Everyday Saurus, what was the worst injury you got scrapping so far? We never asked you that question.
Oh, I've not, touch wood, I've not had a really horrendous one. I sliced my leg carrying some, you know, I always use the IKEA bags when I go to the scrapyard or when I'm street scrapping or whatever, when I used to street scrap. I put stuff in the IKEA bags. Well, because my workshop's like right at the end of my garden, I have to carry them down to the front to load them up. And I was carrying them and I kind of, you know, heaved them along, not realizing a sharp bit had come through and just sort of sliced the side of my leg about that much. But it wasn't that deep, but it did bleed. That's probably the worst one I've had, I think. Yeah, thankfully nothing too bad.
What's called ruptured his bicep, HH Recycling. So when he was doing it, it must have been lifting a beer can or something, I don't know. Edge, welcome in. Merchant Metals, by the way, was in. I don't know if I say hi to him or not. So
I did rupture this bicep, but it was nothing. You know, it wasn't a war injury or any of the, you know, getting dropped out of helicopters. It was my dog. We had a golden retriever. He was 100 pounds of love, and he came charging at me to say hello one afternoon. And when I put my hand down, he would normally stop right at my hand, but in this case, he decided to keep going past me to get to Mrs. Shark. And my hand caught his collar and it hyperextended my arm in the wrong direction and just tore this muscle right in half. Oh my God, that hurt. I mean, I saw sparkles and stars. The pain was so bad.
Steve is saying there that they have a machine to discharge them to a safe level, usually 35% capacity, depending on the company. So there you go. That's exactly what Shark was talking about. There's Merchant Metals. I knew I seen his name coming in. I meant to say welcome in to him. So there you are. Welcome in. Thanks, Merchant Metals, for being in. Ron again talking. Paul Frost, electronic scrapper, all saying worst I've had was in my 30s, was using a drill and drilled through my hand. Yeah, that'd be quite painful.
Yeah, not supposed to do that. You know, let the doctors do the drilling and the dentists.
Yeah.
I pretty bad on a point of sale system from a restaurant. That was a pretty nasty one. Yeah, some of them, if it's very thin metal, it can go quite deep off it quick, you know, because it's just like slices very quickly. Yeah, we were on about Mike and his grinder issue. We are.
That's why I was super cautious with that massive grinder I bought to get into that water
heater thing.
Yeah.
The thing.
kickback.
Dislocated his hand. A lot of dislocations and stuff like that. I see. Probably people stretching or lifting something too heavy and it pulls their arm and dislocates stuff.
Ouchie! You're making my knees go funny.
Watch commercial
Man, I
metals
tell you-
fell off. When he dislocated his hand, he fell off his truck. So that could be a safety chat you could have some night, Shark, about getting up on your truck and getting off your truck without falling and killing yourself when you're unloading and loading.
Oh my God. And I do that like every other week when I bring in a pallet load of boards from my one supplier. I'm up there crawling around the top of the truck, reaching into this thing. And I was thinking to myself, just this last week, I was doing that. And I was thinking, this would make such a hilarious video if I fell right now. But it would probably hurt a lot.
We're talking about bad injuries from scrapping, and look who comes in. The
And
king
look
of
who
bad
shows up.
the king of bad injuries.
Yeah.
You know, the person that is trying, the guy that can cut himself while fluffing a pillow. That's Ian Matthews.
Well, and you know, we shouldn't make fun of Ian, because if it wasn't for all of his routine donations to the scrap gods, we would all be happy to pay that blood.
True.
Broken toes, fell off truck, got 12 inches in my head, or 12 stitches in my head. Scrapping together, quite a few injuries. Patrick Williams said, I cut 4 fingers on day with a dishwasher tour glove, trying to get off the stainless steel. Very sharp. That thin stainless steel. It's that thin stuff that gets you.
Yeah.
Nasty.
Those edges are so. Oh man, that one just gives me the EBGBs thinking about it.
D-Scrap says, family says I need to wrap myself in bubble wrap. Well, if E. Matthews tried wrapping himself in bubble wrap, he'd probably decapitate himself.
Oh my God.
Did you know? Oh, here we go. Did you notice Ian's eye? No safety glasses, I would say. Well, I didn't see Ian's video today, so we'll have to have a look at that. Are you saying that Ian has a sore eye in the video he did today?
Oh dear.
Uh-oh.
Dishwashers are brutal. Cut myself to the bone on one of them. Yeah, there you go.
Bone. Ugh. Thank God I'm sitting down. Ugh. It's screaming.
So some of them sharp eyes. As I say, I don't do a lot of that bulk stuff, or that. It's mainly computers, laptops, that sort of stuff. So, but the odd microwave here and there. I don't take up dishwashers. I don't take wash machines. So lucky enough, I've avoided any of them nasty cuts from them.
Yeah, I don't miss the fact that I'm not doing that stuff anymore. I got to tell you, I'm tempted though, because I got an HVAC company right next to me, and every week there's 2 or 3, full HVAC systems laying back behind their shop for the guys that do come around to scrap that stuff.
And would you not just take one to scrap it out and see how much copper's in it, just to see?
I know how much copper's in it. No, I'm not going to do that. And I told the guy that the 2 guys that come around regularly, I said, look, guys, it's yours. I'm not going to mess with it. I might liberate some number 2 insulated copper wire on occasion that I might see, but yeah, I don't go digging around in those.
Watch God is saying E. Matthews must have a cold again. E. Matthews, you do catch more colds than anyone I've ever seen. Maybe you are taking too much alcohol, because most people when they get a cold will take a whiskey they go, oh, I need a whiskey to clear up the cold. But you seem to be catching them. Maybe you're taking too much alcohol.
Now you know what Ian's going to say. He's going to say, or maybe he's not taking enough.
Yeah.
Ron said, I cut my finger bad on a garden header. I was taken to bits. Okay. The knee, however,
I'm trying to
is-
find the glasses. I can't find the picture of me with the glasses.
You used to have that as your. Do you have that as your logo or your picture on WhatsApp? Do you? You used to have it
Do
one
I?
time. I thought you did. No, yeah, did you? Yes, it's on your WhatsApp. The picture of the picture you have on your WhatsApp is you wearing the glasses all colored.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah,
Forgotten. I mean, I wear my glasses whatever I'm doing. I'm only sitting here doing plugs, but it just takes one of these little bad boys to ping off in my eye, and that's it. Game over for the eye.
Yes.
yeah. There you go. There it is.
There it is. That was the glasses that he was wearing, and you
Oh.
can see he didn't buy them with that designer color on them. That designer color was put onto them by the paint that exploded.
Yeah, there you go.
That's funny. I had completely forgotten that that's the picture I used on my WhatsApp.
Yeah. I thought that. I said to myself, that picture's the one he has in his WhatsApp. Let me see. Oh, shredder, Ron is saying, not header, shredder. I would. That's all good. Copper tubing. Wear a good thick pair of gloves.
I'll tell you what I've got.
Hey,
Which,
Daddy Shenanigans,
Oh,
welcome in.
let me show you what I've got, which are actually really good, and I should be better and wear them more.
Okay, well, give me a second. My answer. Gold fingers. What's better, ram stick fingers or slot card fingers? I think the slot card fingers will be better. I think they have a thicker plating of gold on them. So, like sound cards and VGA cards, I think the gold is better on them personally. But there's more RAM sticks in a computer than there is slot cards a lot of the time. That's my opinion. Oh, them long sleeves.
Anti-cut sleeves.
Yes.
Now, I mean, I wouldn't want to
Oh,
test how anti-cut they are, but they stop sparks. They are meant to be anti-cut, so they'll give some sort of resistance. Because I'm always wearing, straps or whatever. If I'm angle grinding or something, a long job. If it's just a quick thing, I probably don't bother. But if it's a long job, then I put these on, and they are worth their weight in gold. Otherwise, I always get those little burns from the grinder, spark there.
Yes.
Oh yeah. There's an interesting one from Merchant Metals. Have you ever been out picking something up and you get attacked by something? So, for instance, he was out picking stuff up and he got attacked by hornets.
Oh,
Obviously there was a nest of hornets wherever he was, and he got attacked. Like, has anyone ever picked up and got attacked by wasps or come across, picking stuff up and rats nests, rats in there? I know the Shark picked up computers before where there was nests made in them by rats or by mice. So that's one of the dangers too as a scrapper. It's not just the physical cuts; it's getting attacked by wasps or getting attacked by hornets or something. Snake over in America, picking up something and a snake in it. That sort of stuff. The dangers.
Or in Australia, when you watch Big Stack D, and he's taking that stuff with all those spiders there, and I'm like, man, you live in a country where spiders can kill you. Get your hands out of there. No. Don't kill you.
Oh, we'll have to check out Merchant Metal's last video for that. Hold on, what's that?
I don't know if you can see that, but that's my daughter sent me those leather forearm guards for scrapping.
Yeah. You can see them there.
Well, it doesn't want to focus too well, but
no, we can see them.
Those are freaking awesome.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Just a bit hot though, isn't it? They do get a bit hot.
They do, but the thing that, the issue, and I think you mentioned it just a minute ago, we're referring to it, when you're grinding something, especially when you got your big grinder going and you got the little bits and pieces of the grinding wheel or the little shavings coming off of what you're cutting, those things can really irritate your arms after a while.
they're molten metal. They're pieces of molten metal that's flying. So of course, if you ever wear clothes when you're grinding and you look afterwards, you see little dots where it's burned. The clothing you're wearing. So if you don't have something on, that's your hand that's going to be burning, not the clothing. So it only lasts a split second. But if you're doing it for a long time, you'll have plenty of little burn marks on your hands from it. You know.
I wear an apron now for that reason, so I can put it up high because I used to get it here, which is just awful, horrible.
Whenever I've got the big grinder going and I'm strapless, I always put on the protective gear.
Yeah.
There'd be my fear. What Mike has put up. My buddy E Nation opened a PC once and found 2 snakes in there. Well, I can guarantee you the shed would be burned to the ground just to make sure they were dead.
That's a little extreme.
I would burn the shed to the ground just to be sure.
It's interesting. The whole time I was scrapping in Florida, I had instances where I would pick up some scrap and there would be a snake hiding under it, but I never opened up a piece of scrap and found a snake in it. I think probably because by the time I got it loaded in the truck and then unloaded it at the shop and then it sat around the shop, by all that time, the snakes had moved on somewhere else. Whereas, I did find wasp nests and bees nests and mices.
Yeah. Where's your snake skin gone?
Oh, it was driving Lulu nuts. I had to get it out of the house. Yeah, she could, every time she'd come in the office here, she'd go over to that snake skin and just sit there staring at it, so I had to get rid of it.
Okay. I am going to turn on my urn.
My urn. You goddamn American.
I'm just going to hope I don't overload my system because we've also got the hot tub running off that external.
Oh, aren't we posh with our hot tub, aren't we?
No, it's an inflatable lazy spa. It's not a real hot tub, crikey. But when I had this running just with my heater in my shed, it tripped the electrics. So if I disappear,
we know
that's
what
I've done. Yeah.
But why don't you just throw all those plugs in your hot tub?
Because it's not quite that hot, and I think that might be a bit uncomfortable for my daughter's feet. It's on. It worked. Woohoo, but I don't know the temperature. We're going to have to get it in.
E. Matthew said the same thing. Easy, throw the plugs in the hot tub.
It's only 37 degrees. I don't think that's going to do much.
Asked if I could go to what's this? Asked if about €15 each. I told him there was communication, and he had to pay me $10 each. Somebody took them, and I can guarantee you they weren't properly evacuated. Yeah, you see, that's the thing. I know what he's talking about there, but if you look back up further, he was saying about the degassing, I think, because he was on Zoom.
Oh yeah, yep. That was always the issue when I was doing HVAC systems, and they'd say, "Oh yeah, we degassed them already," when all they had really done was pump down the compressor, and so as soon as I cut through the copper, it would blow up in my face. So yeah, that was annoying as all.
It scared the life out of me. I got an air conditioning unit out of the skip that was full of cable that time, which was just the best skip I've ever come across in my life. And they said they would degas because they'd been taken out by a heating engineer. And they sat outside my thing for probably a year before I even got round to them. And then I cut the blooming thing, and did it make me jump? Did it? the freon coming out of there, crikey! Horrible when that happened.
Merchant Metals is asking, any good news with copper lately? Prices are still down from where they were, so it'll be a while, I'd say, before we see things go back up in copper world, I think, personally, but we could be wrong. Next week it could jump again. So, but again, they're down. But if you look at this time last year, they're still up on that price, I think. So it's all perspective, really.
Yeah, exactly. If you compare it to 10 years ago, we're quids in.
Yeah, exactly. But
Well, yeah.
you know, hey Terry, welcome in. Good to see you.
Hey, Terry.
Thanks for popping in. You know, and as a hobbyist scrapper like me, it doesn't matter if copper prices are down, copper prices are up. Everything I get it for free. So it's any money there is 100% profit. It doesn't matter if the price is down or whatever. It's only my time to scrap it out, which I don't put a value on, because as a hobbyist, you don't put a value on your time when you're doing your hobby. So same if you're fishing, same if you're playing golf, playing any other sport, you're not taking that time into account, you know.
That's what I would say. How many hobbies actually pay the people that are doing them? You know, most hobbies cost people hundreds and thousands of pounds in equipment and, you know, traveling, and but not, you know, we actually earn a bit, so can't complain.
Yeah, and like I tell people all the time, I suck at golf and I can't catch a cold fishing, so I got to do something to keep me out of the pool halls.
Sorry, I hope this isn't.
I'm so bad at golf that the first time I met my father-in-law before we got married, we went down to visit the family, and my future father-in-law then he says, come on, let's go to the driving range. And so we're at the driving range, and it was amazing that I could actually make a golf ball go backwards. He says, you know what? Let's go down there where there aren't quite so many people. I mean, I think I was embarrassing him in front of his friends.
That's terrible.
Because my father-in-law is an avid golfer. He was. I mean, one of his proudest moments was when he shot his age at 82. Or something.
Terry is saying, does anyone else have any other hobbies on here? I don't really. One time I used to fish. Don't really do fishing anymore. I couldn't say I have, to be honest. This is my hobby now. Yeah.
Hobbies. My newest hobby is needle felting. I really love needle felting. And needle felting. So what that is you get, well, you can either have a canvas or you can make figures, 3D figures. But I like the canvas, and you get wool, special coloured wool, and you have these very, very fine, thin needles, and you basically repeatedly stab it into the base layer of felt or hessian or whatever, and you create a picture. And I've done quite a few, and at the moment I'm making myself a solid sign. I'm doing some tools and stuff on it to hang in the shed. Just nice to sit there. It's quite therapeutic, you know, repeatedly stabbing it makes a nice crunchy noise, and you do it while watching TV.
Crunchy noise.
It does. It does. And no one gets harmed. So it's well, I do occasionally stab my finger actually, but not
there you
too
go.
often.
Injuries, more injuries.
Yeah.
So
right. I'm going to hop down so I can check on my children before I go live. So
no problem. Thanks for being up, and we'll check you out when you go live.
Fingers crossed.
Guys, Everyday Salads will be going live. I'll be putting a link in anyhow before we finish first. So
thank you.
We'll see you in a little bit.
Just got to figure out how to get out of here. It's been a long.
What's it? E. Matthew said he once collected beer mats. Americans. What did someone else say? Did anyone else say magnet fishing? Okay. I'd like to try magnet fishing sometimes, just to see. Is drinking a hobby? Americans' favorite hoarder said. Welcome in, Ralph Morrick. Gaming, metal casting, 3D printing, crafting, all kinds useful. Yeah, welcome in, by the way, Ralph. Thanks for coming in. Well, it's way cheaper than GPUs. Home brewing, yeah, there you go. Shark, home brewing. My hobby is charging my phone and trying to make space in storage for more videos I won't ever edit.
That's funny.
No problem, Ralph. You're in now. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. That's the only thing. Ron collects.
You know, Ron, I used to collect beer mugs, mugs from different places, and the coasters and the towels, the bar towels. So it was really cool. I mean, I had a bar towel. I had a couple of bar towels from the Seven Bells, the pub that Jack the Ripper supposedly hung out in. It was a fun part of the home brewing hobby, was all the stuff that went along with it.
Welcome in, Gil Skills, other Bob. Joseph's hobby is watching my videos. Well, thank you very much for that. Mike says his hobby is making sharks' life hell. Well, that's an easy hobby. All you have to do is do videos with grinders with no guards on, and you've already got them ruffled up.
All he has to do is do a video. He doesn't even have to have one with the grinder. I mean, just
that's all he has to do. You're damn good at that hobby. I've enjoyed the chat tonight. Actually, it was interesting chats. We've talked about some interesting subjects there, from what's your worst injuries and rare earth metals and stuff like that. It was very interesting tonight, I thought. Myself personally, people in the chat mightn't agree with us, but I found it an interesting chat, so I did.
Yeah, I actually got injured a lot more in the military than I have since I've been scrapping. But maybe that's to be expected.
yeah, that sort of job is a more high risk job. So it'd be more that sort of stuff, sounds good. Overrated. Guards are overrated. Guards are really overrated.
At one point aboard ship, my sailors were getting cut so much that the corpsman said, "Okay, I'm going to teach your division officer how to sew you guys up. You get cut again, Lieutenant Petrick's putting you back together,
stitching you back together." So it is stitching you back together.
Guards are overrated.
Yeah, tell us that when you've got a piece of the blade stuck in the top of your head again. Tell me that one again later. Scrap it together.
Yeah.
It's
funny how many people say that until the piece of the grinder is embedded in their body.
Yeah. HH Recycling, thanks for being in. Appreciate it. HH has to go back up on the roof and get the dish down before the wife gets home. Okay. Be safe up there. Be safe. As Gil said, yeah, Google angle grinder injuries, and you might decide the guard is going to be a useful device on a grinder. Tag said, I don't think I want to. Yeah, I wouldn't advise it. So I wouldn't. Anyhow, before I finish up, Shark, what's the plan for the week?
Oh man, I have, it's feast or famine. I had 3 pickups, one on Thursday, one on Friday, one on Saturday. The shark cage is once again slammed. So I have got a buttload of work I got to get done, scrapping, sorting, weighing. That's the way it works, right? You finally get to where things are looking a little bit organized and you can actually walk around, and then you get a whole bunch of pickups all at once, and you're back to being jammed again. So I've got a lot of scrapping I got to get done this week.
Yeah, that sometimes you think you're getting through everything, and next thing, as you say, you pick up a rake of stuff and you go, okay, I'm back to square one here. Yeah, back to square one. So it is. We've someone popping up there. Hey, Gil Skills.
What's going on? Better late than never, right?
Hey, better late than never. So it is. You're here now, so that you're just on time, aren't you?
Sure. Is it my turn to tell what's going on for the week?
Yeah, it's your turn to say what's going on for the week.
Okay. Man, I haven't even been here a minute. No, I'm just kidding.
Putting the pressure on you straight away.
Actually, I created a somewhat of a slush fund, and I'm about to put out an ad to like HVAC folks and electricians and whoever has number one wire or MCM wire or whatever the case may be. So I'm going to start buying that stuff up and processing it and bringing it in, for the Bear Bright and see how it goes. So I'm kind of looking forward to that venture.
And when you say putting an ad out, where are you going to put the ad out on?
Well, I'm going to try Craigslist, and I'm going to work on some communities within Facebook. I'm going to try that out first and see how well that works out. And if I can get one or two buyers on that, I might create like a card or a flyer. I've got like a flyer and all that. I went to ChatGPT and I built up this nice flyer and letter and email and all that fun stuff. So we'll see how it goes.
That's pretty big news. That's good to hear.
So, Bob, did you get that? Did you build up that slush fund from your affiliate commissions from the Hair Club for Men?
Yes, it built up rather quickly. I shown how shiny one's head can be. That's in the members only area on the channel. Did surprisingly well, and yeah.
That'd be interesting to see.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the math says you can make money doing it if I can find the source material and
it's all about buying at the right price and whether you sit on it for a while, copper to up a bit, or what you do.
Yeah. So we'll see.
That's good news. That's good to hear. Any more information you want to tell us there now?
Not really, other than the fact that I'm trying to make my YouTube presence a little more known lately. Just posted a video on Friday. I've got another one in the pipeline that I'm hoping to have out this week.
Yeah, because again, if you do miss a bit of time off YouTube doesn't. It takes a time again to build up your audience over time, because it just happens to be that way. And again, because YouTube likes consistency. I think they like to see something happen fairly regularly. Where if you do a lot of stuff, like I see people do 6 or 7 videos and they disappear for 6 months. Then they come back and do 6 or 7 videos and disappear for 6 months. YouTube doesn't like that.
You know how you have a credit score, right?
Yes.
In life, YouTube should come out with a YouTube score and a very comprehensive way to read that and figure out what needs to be brushed up upon.
Yeah. Because that's what you.
It's called your watch time.
True. Retention time, watch time.
Yeah. So it is. Anyhow, I'm going to have to say goodbye to everyone because we have to go put the link in for Solar's Live. So as normal, guys, thanks to everyone that's been in. Appreciate you all. Anyone that's come up in the panel and taken part, anyone that's been in the chat, even if you're just lurking there and haven't said a word, I appreciate you coming in. I appreciate everyone that hit the thumbs up, of course. So that's very important. So make sure you've hit that thumbs up button. And we will catch you. Leanne, welcome in. I think I seen you in earlier and at the beginning. I'm not sure if you heard me saying hi to you or not. So welcome in anyhow. So here is the link for Everyday Solars, who's actually doing a live. It's not a premiere. It's an actual live, guys. So she'll be able to interact with your chat and stuff like that. So we'll see you all over there. Appreciate you all. Until next week. We should be live next week. Not sure if I have a video out because last week I said I wasn't sure I was going to put a video out, and I did put a video out. So I'll see what happens during the week. I might get a video out, I mightn't get a video out. So we'll see what happens. So stay safe and scrap you all later, guys. And as Gil would say, come on, Gil, do your punchline.
Have a scrap happy day.
There we go. Have a scrap happy day. Bye.